Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Weenus, and I am joined by. It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's not a man. It's a train. B-Train. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I am super stoked. Everybody's been telling me what a great caster you are. I've seen all your gifts. You have absolute tremendous skills, and I can't wait to see what kind of shenanigans we can get into tonight.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you believe that, I have some bridges to sell you in a desert, sir. You have been lied to, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's very gracious. Legends of your rap god casting have started to disperse through the NGS community. Look forward to seeing some more of that tonight. So everybody watch out. What do we have tonight? We have a Div C West game for NGS Season 6. We have Can't Counterpick Stupid versus Ginormous Jaegers. Are we going to get an exciting game tonight, B-Trade?
I 100% think so. My team has scrimmed against Ginormous Jaegers, and they had some spice to them. We already saw Ogle change his portrait, but the portrait he had before in this lobby was very telling of some of the crazy picks they could pull out. So I'm super excited. I hope to bust it out. If not, I'm obviously not leaking strats, so that way if we don't see it, I'm not too worried about it. But if it does come out, I'll let you guys know.
Very good, very good. All right, well, let's check the maps out real quick. All right, so Ginormous Jaegers, they won the coin toss, and they decided they won first hero pick. So we got a ban of Alterac Pass from Can't Counterpick Stupid. And then we got a map ban from Ginormous Jaegers of Sky Temple. And the map pick landed on by CCS was Infernal Shrines. So that is where we are going to be heading first. Looking at the standings, there's not too many games played so far between these two teams, just because we're towards the beginning of the season. It looks like Can't Counterpick Stupid was able to get a domination, and Ginormous Jaegers did get 2-0'd by the enemy team, opposing team. But, anything can happen, and it will. So I'm excited to see how these teams do matched up against each other.
Yeah, right. For sure. I really want to see how this first map goes, because obviously, like you said, it was only the first map or first series between each of these teams, and surely you see a 2-0 on one side, a 0-2 on the other, but that doesn't do justice for either of these teams, because it's all dependent on matchups, and who knows, these guys could be really evenly matched and we'll get one heck of a series.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was holding it together, and then I glanced up back at that GIF for your placeholder. It just makes me moist.
All right. I didn't even see the second one until today, actually.
Oh my goodness. All right, so it looks like we are ready to go. All right, so let's get into it. So we will get into game one, where we are headed to Infernal Shrines right after this. Infernal Shrines! Alright. What is going to be picked up here? What is going to be banned? Are we going to see an Alex Straza finally? I want to see some Alex on Infernal Shrines. I want to see some dragons! I'm stoked about Game of Thrones. Let's see those dragons.
If we start talking about Game of Thrones, I'll never be able to stay focused on this game. But like you said, Alex Strauss is fire. Green fire, healing fire, thick fire, whatever fire you want to call her. She's great on this map. And, speaking of fire, who else is good here? Kael'thas and Diablo, two other heroes of fire. So we'll see how many of them make it through the pick ban phase. I highly suspect Diablo doesn't make it, nor does Kael'thas, but Alex just might.
Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't seen... I'm not sure exactly how strong Alex is in the meta right now. I'd say that she's probably... This is one of her stronger maps, for sure, just because everybody's centered in the one objective. And you can hit all of these shrine monkeys as well at the same time. New Barak is going to be banned, first off, by Ginormous Jaegers. I also kind of like, I like Phoenix on this map too, but it is dangerous because you have to get a little bit closer than you want to really get a lot of AoE onto the minions.
Exactly, and same thing with like another support or not support, excuse me, ranged assassin who used to be kind of prominent on this map was Tychus. Odin gives you a lot of shrine control, but same thing, he's one of those close range auto attack heroes, and you have to get sketchy with him. But we are going to see the Ana ban coming out, not wanting to have anti heals or not wanting to have a target that is great with nano boost against them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even though Aya Horus is still banned, you don't have to worry about it if you ban the hero outright. Gul'dan getting banned by Ginormous Jaegers. One more ban, and then we see some heroes that are actually going to be played this match, and I find that exciting.
I'm super sad to see the Gul'dan ban. That is my highest character at like 106, and I love him. I think he's honestly one of the most overpowered heroes, and Blizzard just won't nerf him for some reason. Not gonna be, not upsetting me, but he's a great hero, and I think he gets underplayed and valued. And then we're gonna see the Asmodonger ban. So not liking those giant circles that he puts down. Lots of AoE damage out of Asmodan, so they really don't want to go against that.
Yeah, there's just going back to Gul'dan. I agree. He is really great. Johanna getting picked up he has so much wave clear. It's like almost unmatched. He's just really slow. He's got a great CC abilities with fears, especially if ETC is involved at any point. But yeah, I think maybe his only downfall is he's slow. And you're right. There you go. KT first pick. Can't counterpick stupid.
That chicken's gonna get me.
Ooh, and Mal'Ganis.
Mal'Ganis is an interesting pickup to me because if all of you, were listening, as soon as he got picked, he says, "I must feed," and I don't want my tank feeding. That's just kind of counterproductive. But we'll see how he does here. With the Johanna already locked in, I know she fares decently well in the Mal'Ganis with Iron Skin, the ability to blind, and she has the mini stun on Condemn. So we'll see if that Mal'Ganis ends up as the main tank or the offlane.
Yeah, one thing. Oh wow, Arthas and Johanna. I like this. There's a lot of AoE that you could bring into the shrine. Collect all of the minions together, blow them down. Deckard, I know. Odd Thought. He was playing for Clouded Minds with us last season, so he's an old friend. He loves his Deckard Cain. He loves making people stay a while. He loves making people listen to his Lornado. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do on the Deckard Cain. I really like that Blizzard changed it so you can see which heroes are picking, or which people are picking which heroes. I think it really adds a lot.
Yeah, that's great, but with swap rounds available, you can almost use it as like a huge debate. So, say you let your tank player pick something that can tank and solo lane, and then the enemy team thinks, okay, this person's main tanking. That swap round at the end can really get value in these custom matches. But looking at the side of Ginormous Jaegers, I see Johanna, Deckard, and Arthas, and one thing comes to mind. CC. That is a lot of control.
Yeah, it's a lot of lockdown for sure. Jaina and Diablo both getting banned out of here. So, also popular for this map with Jaina's just her huge amount of AoE and the danger that Diablo is inside of that shrine. Just slapping you against walls. Bam! Bam! Pretty much like Emerald.
I shall do what I must.
Alright. There's Alex. We got an Alex. Hooray! Thank the gods.
And a situation actually that doesn't look so appealing. Deckard having Emerald and Arthas just pretty much walking somewhere and controlling that space until he passes away, and with only a Kael'thas to hit him, and now a Varian is a melee assassin into an Arthas Johanna frontline. I'm quite interesting to see what the thought process is behind the Varian pick here. I want to see where it lands with this last Joker pick from Can't Counterpick Stupid.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see one more ranged. That's what I would guess, but we'll see. All right, so we got Zeratul and Raynor from Ginormous Jaegers. What is the wombo combo that you set up with Zeratul? Is Ogle going to go Void or not?
So I casted a a Might of the Nerazim game earlier, and Sylvanas, you asked for range damage, you got it. She has percent-based damage at level 1, good for dealing with tanks in the early game. Only thing is she's very squishy, and with a Zeratul lurking around, I do have concerns. But back to the Wombo conversation with a VP here, we could see some cheeky plays with, you know, Stay a While and VP, Syndragosa, like all kinds of just team fight ults coming down. So we could get something spicy.
All right, I like it. Another advantage of Sylvanas, if you're clearly losing the shrine, you can't win it. Sylvanas is going to split off on her own, try to get some value in another lane, and at least you don't walk away with 0. Unless unless the enemy team follows you. Maxazillion in chat, where's my favorite Nova main? I don't know if he's talking about me or one of these other players, but welcome, Maxazillion. Welcome to chat. And thank you, sir, for the very generous subscription. That was very kind.
As always, my pleasure. And I think if we had to vote on this draft, who are you rolling with here? Who do you give the tip of your hat to for this game 1?
I'm gonna go with I like Counterpick Stupid. I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Oh, we got a little rivalry then. I'm going with Ginormous Jaegers here.
All right. Well, let's see who comes out on top. And as we get into game 1, on the blue team, on the left-hand side, we have Can't Counterpick Stupid. We have Osprey playing the Mal'Ganis. We have Keldorn playing the KT. Wits End on the Alexstrasza. Valkymer playing the Varian. And we have Silma on the Sylvanas.
And on the right side in the red, up in the top lane, we have Gambit on the Lich King Arthas. Dark Knight manning that front line on Johanna. Odd Thought on his Deckard Cain. Ogle the Great on Zeratul. And down in the bottom, Nemesis on Jimmy.
Give him a little bit of the Jimmy. So we're going to see the lane split off right away at the very beginning from Ginormous Jaegers. They're ready to soak.
Yeah, going straight to the lanes, not having a lot of just instant clear to push them, but they definitely didn't want to contribute to that mid-fight and get some of the stacking quests online for the side of Can't Counterpick Stupid.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're going to see Zeratul kind of zooming in from bottom to mid. I think, what do you think? Do you think Ogle is going to be on the move looking for a gank all the time?
I think it depends a lot on the laning setup. I mean, running top to gank a Mal'Ganis is going to be one heck of a challenge, and I don't quite frankly think Zeratul alone will be enough. I think they're just going to use them for the wave clear and the mobility and the 4-man, and if they do step, into that kind of neutral zone, like where the shrine lines up and somebody's out a little too far, they can collapse on someone even in this 4-man like Kel'Thas.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. It's going to be a little bit of a most likely a failure trying to go up top and get a gank on one of these offlaners. They're just too thick. Siege camp getting picked up by Ginormous Jaegers, and I think we're going to see possibly this camp get started by Zeratul. Yes, bottom siege camp will be started. I kind of like this little squad that we have going around with Odd Thought, Deckard Cain, and Zeratul just going ahead and picking up these camps.
Yeah, for sure. And looking into talents, just a couple of things to bring to light is we do have the full circle build from Alexstrasza, which into Deckard Cain, who gets Emerald at 7, could be something to watch out for. Denying all that healing is going to be really painful for CCS. And Varian pulling on the taunt.
Very good. Well, it's going to be a little bit tankier. What do you think about Mal'Ganis being a main tank? Is he tanky enough? Did Varian have to go taunt here to be effective?
I don't think so. I think Mal'Ganis does very well in either the offlane or main tank. He provides kind of like the Diablo effect. He's just an aggressive, win harder tank. He's not someone like Johanna who just wants to play slow and steady and let the damage come out. He wants to make things happen. That being said, I myself am a huge advocate of Taunt Varian as a main tank. He provides an extreme amount of strength in the early game. As pre-level 10, he just gives you everything you need. He has Engage, he has Escape, he's good against auto attack heroes, and he can give you picks. He has the lockdown with his Taunt, and it's on a very short cooldown.
Yeah, it could also come in handy for, you know, a very annoying invisible Zeratul who's trying to ghost his way around. If you can lock him down just for a little bit so he can't get away, you might get an opportunity to blow him up. So the shrine is active. Jimmy's going to head on up there, tap that pole, dance around it, and we're off to the races.
Yeah, and up top lane here with not a lot of camps pushing in other lanes, we're going to probably get our first big team fight as Gambit is going to find Valkymer in that bush holding his shield. No taunt going to come down as I don't think they had the pressure to kill an Arthas there, but they do have position on the shrine and, you know, they're going to have to force their way in past this Varian front line, and Arthas starting to do that. Gambit is going to receive the taunt as the Living Bomb has done a little bit of damage. The roots are going to come out. The Grab Lapse is going to lift them up as Johanna's going to go in and get the 4-man condemn on to the Circle of Life from the Alexstrasza, who's going to pop Dragon Queen Wits End, trying to turn this fight around for their team, putting down the double healing circles, getting all these heals out of them without Emerald online yet. Deckard is not going to be able to deny that.
Yeah, and even with that fight, no one goes down. Both teams are able to keep everybody alive, and this shrine that started with Ginormous Jaegers has definitely taken over. Engage happening now as both teams are engaging, spreading the flame, and it's KT is the first to go, and now it's Ginormous Jaegers who are chasing Can't Counterpick Stupid, but the Punisher does go over to Can't Counterpick Stupid. Mal'Ganis also falling.
Yeah, winning that Punisher without level 7s, we saw Deckard instantly lock in Emerald, and it got immediate value in that fight, as I anticipated. So we'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on later. If there was a healing denied stat, that would be something cool to look at. But, you know, losing that Punisher, it would have been the worst case scenario if you lost members, but they had all 5 up, and they got 2 kills, Ginormous Jaegers did. So they were able to pretty much get free clear on it. Right now, though, they're actually losing one of their safe side camps here in the bottom.
I like this play. Invade while everyone else is distracted. If you're going to have a couple members down, but you know the enemy team is all going to be distracted up in the top lane. It's a smart play. I like it a lot. Yeah, and I think gaining 2 kills at the very beginning might be worth not capturing the first Immortal, just because the first one's not going to get a lot of value done. It's not very strong, and you know, maybe as time goes on and they get stronger, you're definitely going to want to win those if you can.
Yeah, for sure, especially with the Sylvanas comp, you can run it down harder. But speaking of invades, Jimmy and Arthas stealing the bruisers away from Kang. While the 3-man is in the bottom, and the Deckard's going to get the triple root down as Johanna burns the Iron Skin to escape. You know, I have a different camera angle than you, so I missed a little bit of that engagement. But yeah, bruiser's stolen. So with the next objective being bottom, that's top lane pressure that Counterpick Stupid is not going to have.
I love this hide and seek. You're like, okay, we're going to take your siege camp. All right, fine. Well, we're going to go take your bruiser camp. So it's like a back and forth. You know, hopefully at some point this merry-go-round is going to end, and one of these teams is going to get caught, and it could be deadly.
Yeah, it's hitting. Oh, sorry. Yeah, level 10's coming online. Yeah, I was going to say, the Mal'Ganis is having to go back to clear that bruiser camp, so now they're having to leave Varian in the top lane so that they don't get a lot of damage on their walls. So that's just going to be something to keep keep looking at. As Arthas and Johanna have a lot of wave clear, but Blood Shield instantly comes out, and you're going to get the root the VP onto the gate, and that's Kael'thas dead in a flash like lightning. They get their ults, just like you said, level 10 online, and they just snap the switch down, and now they're taking out structures.
It's good patience to wait until you get 10 and then really turn on the heat and bring it to Can't Counterpick Stupid. Do you want to review what was picked by Ginormous Jaegers and what you think about those talents?
Yeah, we saw 4 of them come down. We saw VP from Zeratul looking to get a lot of setup potential. Hyperion for just immense amounts of zone control for Zeratul. We do have Army of the Dead from Arthas, not looking to get that Syndragosa, you know, shutting down tower value or just that, you know, engage flank value. Bless Shield from Johanna, and odd thought on Deckard actually holding the ultimate pick here, not buying to go Lornado or Nap Time yet with the book.
Interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The objective will be spawning in about 10 seconds for Can't Counterpick Stupid. Shield Wall for Varian, Cleansing Flame from Alexstrasza, Dark Conversion. Ooh, interesting for Mal'Ganis. As Varian's in trouble, is trying to run for the gate, but is taking a lot of damage and does get picked off and will be taking a nap. Still holding on Sylvanas, and we have Phoenix on the KT. Ginormous Jaegers have started the shrine already, picking up what they can. Zeratul. Tool deep in a sea of blue. Trying to slow down, can't counterpick stupid. Try to keep them from getting to the shrine so that Ginormous Jaegers can get a little bit ahead on the objective.
Yeah, getting to 20 so far, that's kind of the magic number for Dragon Queen. Once Counterpick Stupid gets to 20, I expect to see Dragon Queen once Jaegers engages. Usually you can pop that to secure the shrine, but 20 to 20 now, as we are going to see the VP into the backline, negating the heals from the Alexstrasza. The Decker Cane is going to bust the roots out as they're all going to be putting damage onto the Taunt Variant. Alexstrasza is going to pop the Cleansing Flames as Lornado locked in, going to shut that door so the members of Counterpick Stupid can't get out, but so far no kills on either side. Damage going out every which way. Gambit zoning off both of the backline, one backline as Zeratul diving deep for Selma, not getting the kill on Sylvanas, and Dark Knight barely able to get out, gonna miss on some of the damage, but Gambit is gonna get taunted by that variant, and the Sylvanas damage comes through, but they pay 1 kill for the Punisher.
Oh my goodness, that was a very long sustained fight. I don't know how those healers kept everybody alive, except for, you know, minus Arthas, but yeah, the Ginormous Jaegers do secure the Punisher. But I don't know if they have the same amount of pressure that they can use to leverage that Punisher because they're outmanned. They're just going to spread out, possibly take the siege camp and steal that. See if they can blow it down in time as the Punisher will expire. Arthas' backup will be looking to rejoin the team, and Johanna will be doing a little bit of edge guarding to make sure that keeps some eyeballs on Can't Counterpick Stupid. Going now to this another siege camp. Gonna paint the map red if they can. Ginormous Jaegers are going to grab anything that's not bolted down. Arthas in the top lane getting some soak up there, and we have talent tier advantage, 13 to 12, favoring Ginormous Jaegers. So, will they try to pick a fight? I don't know. It's gonna be 13s all the way around in just a second here, so I don't think they'll have that opportunity.
Yeah, so far both the Punishers have been used as just huge diversions for teams to go steal camps. As we do have 4 people in the bottom, they're going to just go ahead and mow this fort down. And I don't know if the 5-man rotation is going to be here quick enough, so they're just clearing this mid lane up, trying to get some of the pressure on the map reversed that is against them, as the first fort of the game goes down in favor of Ginormous Jaegers.
All right, let the catapults release the Kraken catapults! Those are going to start shuffling their way down in the bottom lane. Oh, here comes a big engage as the root comes out, as well as Phoenix and Hyperion, and it's going to be Zeratul who drops first. Nemesis very low on the back line, having to back up a little bit. And it looks like we're just going to suffer 1 death, although still get Cleansing Flame popping a little bit of damage down on Ginormous Jaegers.
Yeah, for anybody who's trying to learn how to tank or ward bushes, Valkymer just put on a Bush Guard 101 lesson, and we can go back and review it at some later point if you wish. He sat in that vent as Selma going to take lots of damage from Gambit's Arthas here. But Valkymer on variant sat in that vent, and no one checked it. He hit the raw Lion's Fang reveal onto Zeratul, and goes in with the taunt, and honestly saves what could have been a humongous Void Prison.
Oh my goodness. Yep, you definitely don't want to be face-checking bushes if you are not the tank. That is a good way to get killed real quick. Camp time once again as the bruiser camps are picked up by both teams. In the middle, though, Mal'Ganis gets interrupted and gets taken out by minions. Final kill by minions.
Bless Shield was committed for that, though, so that's 45 seconds with no Bless Shield.
It is going to allow Ginormous Jaegers to push in, though, and claim this middle fort as well. There's going to be a counter push in the top lane here by Alexstrasza and Sylvanas, and they are pushing with that camp. And we're going to see rotation of Ginormous Jaegers, but I'm not sure if they're going to get there in time. There is going to be a retreat as Alexstrasza and Sylvanas are trying to get out. They might get caught. Here we go. Cleansing Flame as an escape. The objective is up, though. If you're going to burn Dragon, might as well be sooner than later on this fight. Arthur's taking a lot of damage. Backing off a little bit as both teams kind of set to their own sides.
That Bruiser camp in the top lane is actually still pushing, so no minion wave to come back up the side of Ginormous Jaegers, who, without level 16, don't look like they want to commit to this just yet. And with the Cleansing Flames already down for Alexstrasza, they think maybe they can turn it around into a Dragon Queen. Now that they have 16, we'll see if they decide to engage. As 25 monkeys have already fallen, as Johanna is going to walk straight through the bush, not even paying attention to Varian. Doesn't have to burn the Iron Skin yet. Varian is going to lay down the taunt. Arthas coming in with a huge flank. Deckard Cain is going to hit the massive triangle. Talking about geometry, but Dark Conversion absolutely deletes Gambit, who steps into the VP before losing his life. Ogle is trying to peel for his team. Zeratul going in deep, getting a lot of value with that Rending Cleave at level 16. He's now online as Ogle stunting, juking, and jiving on the backline. Takes out Alexstrasza. Osprey and Valkymer are just running for their lives, as it looks like Varian is also going to fall here, but the rest of his team will escape. This is going to be 3 more kills at some point. 3 kills for 1.
Just looking for that last minion. They're at 39. I think that's why Varian stayed behind, trying to claim that Punisher. Oh, we need 10 more now for Ginormous Jaegers. Can they get it? I believe they can. I don't think can't Counterpick Stupid is going to risk an engage for that 1 minion. So close though. So very close. Ogle taking a lot of damage. Yeah, having to back out there. And is going to have to go back to base to patch his wounds up, as the Mortar Punisher marches for Ginormous Jaegers in the top lane.
And yet again, Bless Shield burned there, kind of quick on the trigger. Maybe not looking to use it as such a setup tool, maybe almost just thinking of it as another stun. Is Kael'thas baiting the Punisher? And you wish you had Bless Shield, now it's not needed. Keladorn falls. Master of Flames has been burned down, as while this Punisher pushes and secures another fort, Gambit and Ogle looking at another camp, as Sylvanas actually burned the Banshees to get in here, has no escape. Zeratul is doing lots of damage. Soma gonna get burned down by that cleave. 100 HP left, and the dots and the minions are gonna kill steal, and that's another kill for Ginormous Jaegers.
Wow, this is a big turn for them. They've been in the lead, or it's been pretty close so far, but that was a big turn all at once. Getting the Punisher, getting some kills in the top lane, getting that fort, and now stealing this camp. Like, it's a good sized swing. Now they have almost a 2-level lead, as they can pick up whatever camps they want to right now, as can't Counterpick Stupid is just kind of trying to reset and try to figure out what their next play is.
Ginormous Jaegers, like you said earlier, painting the map red. We are going to see a Chinese bush party, and I'm quite terrified here. VP online.
And it does come out, as well as Hyperion, but Ogle has to back out as Phoenix comes down. Cleansing Flames is launched as well. Lord Nado goes out, and it's Zeratul who does fall first. The fight continues, though. Chasing. Can't Counterpick Stupid is looking for those kills. They will go onto Gambit. Out comes the toss. Out comes the stun from Mal'Ganis, and Arthas will not be able to get away, and Arthas falls as well. Back behind their lines, though, there's all these camps that are still pushing. Those are going to get cleaned up. And, ooh, are we going to see an invade? Oh, I think we are.
I think this invade is going to spell certain doom if they don't just retreat. Actually going to burn Lornado again for the camp a little bit early. Alex looking to put that healing circle down a little bit forward, showing that they want to get this engaged as the taunt comes down. Mal'Ganis is going to put Johanna to sleep. Whatever information he had for her was absolutely boring, because she went out like a light. Burning that Iron's going to get out. They do lose the camp, but at the end of the day, not another life. So I think that's okay.
You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. Continuing to push. Can't Counterpick Stupid. They want this keep, and with Arthas down, they might be able to bully their way in this 5v4. Oh, I don't know. No, it's a counter engage now as we start getting some kills here at Zeratul, Alexstrasza, and Sylvanas all fall, and the counter engage is real, but it's a 3-on-3 as Arthas is making his way. Oof. Well,
Dark Conversion actually got mega value right there, swapping the life of Odd Thought to Mal'Ganis. But yeah, I heard the ooh and ah in your voice when you were calling that. Odd Thought hit an absolute unit of a triple triangle, and Zeratul goes in with that Rending Cleave at 16 and just chunks all 3 people, and it was just like the flip of a switch. The health bars just went from low on one side to now they're almost gone on the other. Like, that was insane.
Yeah, that was a huge swing. That was a really good defense, too, being down 4v5. There's a lot of value that was picked up in the bottom lane. Oh, but in the top first, Varian is running away for 30 HP and does get taken out by Hyperion. And this is going to be another camp steal for Ginormous Jaegers. In the bottom lane, the bottom keep is under a third health. Getting a lot of value from keeping the team engaged, letting catapults push. And here's another engage, and it's going to be Alex Straza who does get picked off. Mind control goes out, and I think we're just going to see a little bit of a back off here. Not willing to push on this gate quite yet.
Level 20s locked and loaded for Ginormous Jaegers, and we are going to see the typical shadow mending for the Zeratul, execute for Raynor, Indestructible, Legion of Northrend, not looking to get the counter on that spell damage, so no AMS, and we have perfect gems from Deckard, reducing the cooldowns of gems so that he can throw out that emerald way more often, denying the heals from Alex Straza.
Alright, so maybe the first Punisher not so strong, but now we're at almost 20 minutes, and this Punisher is going to pack a punch. Also with so much structure damage, can't counterpick stupid. If they choose to defend this, which they're going to have to because it's about to pop, they have to be very careful that they don't get picked as well. If they start losing teammates, they could turn a keep into end of game.
Yeah, and how unfortunate that this late game protector turns out to be an arcane Punisher, or not protector, but Punisher turns out to be an arcane when the most annoying of the bunch, the Pink Floyd laser show, hurts something awful.
Can we do it? We arcane. Either you arcane or you can't. And that was some punishment right there. I apologize. It's not going to get any better, folks. As the Punisher, John Cena, jumps onto target after target. Varian is the flavor of the moment. As the mid keep goes down, Hyperion comes out. Oh. Zeratul getting very, very low. It's backing out a little bit, but Mal'Ganis is picked off and will go down. This is what you have to be careful about, losing your teammates as well as having a Punisher out on core. It's so hard to dodge, though, the pink limbo.
Yeah, and John Cena getting lots of stun value as it jumped off above. It went north chasing Varian, and everybody went to help Varian, and poor little Kael'thas got hit by the very tiptoe corner of a Deckard triangle, and immediately Johanna Zeratul pounced, and KT was no more.
Wow, all right, so game number 1, going over to Ginormous Jaegers. So taking a look at the stats screen here, is there anything you see that that sticks out to you? I mean, I don't know. I don't play Zeratul, and when I think of Zeratul, I don't think, oh, this is someone who's going to have top siege damage. But I guess with all of his AoE, it is possible, as we can see right here.
100%. That's the stat I was going to point out, is the amount of wave clear Zeratul had. Being a more mobile hero, they were able to, set him off, go clear the off lane, the only lane they had pushing against them, which is usually only one. He'd go over there, he'd clear the lane, and he can blink into a fight, so you can start taking your fight knowing that Zeratul's gotten his clear in and he's on the way. And, 122k, highest in the game. Johanna's second, down by about 6,000. And that just shows you how much emphasis and how much wave clear they had. Like, just everything that Can't Counterpick Stupid had in the lanes just got deleted and got not a lot of value.
Absolutely. I think some of those, I think my favorite plays were probably Dark Conversion from Mal'Ganis. I thought those were really fun. Didn't end up winning them the game, but I thought it was a lot of fun to see those go off. I think those turned some of those fights.
And I think if there's one other stat I had to point out before we get off this screen, it's look at the healing numbers. Alex Straza has percent-based healing with 2 pretty beefy tanks once Taunt comes on. And actually the Deckard Cain healing more. So I think that's a lot of emerald value for Odd Thought on the Deckard Cain.
0, 15, and 0. He may be old, but he cannot be killed this game. All right, well, we are going to check in with Counterpick Stupid and see what they want with either the map pick or the hero pick for game number 2. Sorry, I missed a couple things in chat. Slexia subscribed as well. Thank you. That is so generous. Such a dear. I really appreciate it. I don't know why you would encourage me with my awful puns, but thank you very much. It is appreciated. All right, so I'm gonna pull up the map real quick. Take a look at that as we get into game number 2 here.
That first game was very wishy-washy. There was, a couple hard pushes on one side, and then there's a pretty insane top push that just had an impeccable defense on the side of Ginormous Jaegers. So there were a couple times where, it looked like Jaegers were running away with it, and, credit to Counterpick Stupid. They did a great job clawing their way back in and had a couple spells or hitboxes gone the other way. It could have been an entirely different ending.
Absolutely. And can't Counterpick Stupid. They have spoken and they have chosen map. We are going to be going to Volskaya Foundry next. I'll make sure that we'll be referees just in case any funny business goes down.
Hopefully no DCs. I don't want to have the caster curse, but I saw me and Murder last night actually did a replay cast, and there was unfortunately a DC, and it was pretty punishing. And so that's always the worst case scenario, but hopefully we don't have any of those tonight, and we'll get another game that was as fire as the first one.
Was it a player that DC'd, or was it the caster?
It was a player that DC'd. It was the Gul'dan, the poor Gul'dan, and he kept just running it down, the AI.
Oh, I heard that with one of these patches that the AI now really favor just picking up camps if they can. Is that true?
I think so. I had a game in Team League the other day, and we had like an AI Malthael or something like that, and it never joined team fights. It just ran around the whole game stealing camps. It even went to the other side and took the enemy camps.
Oh my goodness. That's craziness. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually set our map up so it's showing what game 2 is going to be. Bloop. This was picked by Counterpick Stupid.
Now the portrait synergy's coming through. I'm happy.
Yep. Ginormous Jaegers, they are putting it together. So once again, Ginormous Jaegers are going to get the first hero pick. So I don't know if it necessarily secured them the victory last game, but I don't know. It depends, because there's always a chance that, it's, what is it, 50-50, that the enemy team is going to pick a map that you like anyways.
It's something like that. I know there's a lot of teams who really favor some maps. Like, I know personally for my team, there's only one map that we really can't stand, and so we ban it. And everything else we're pretty okay on, first pick or second.
Yeah, and you're guaranteed that ban too, so, like, if there's one map that you hate the worst, you're not going to have to play it.
You will never see my team play a game on Alterac Pass.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more of those. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's just kind of interesting because it's new, and it is, this is the first season that's been in NGS. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
And the map is just beautiful. They did a great job on the artwork. It looks fantastic.
That's true. Yep. That seems to be the case for a lot of Blizzard games, where they first build something and then time passes and they're like, all right, well, we've had some upgrades on some of our graphics, polygons, and things like that. We'll make this one look even prettier. And you're like, this is the same game, right? All right, cool. I like all the little custom detail that they add to these maps, knocking over apple barrels and things like that. Things that you don't have to do, but add just like a little bit more flavor.
Oh yeah, just like on the on BOE, the big immortal guys that are chained up on the outside of the map at the top right. Yes. When you walk, they look at you, they follow you.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that for the longest time because, normally I'm not checking out what's happening on the far sides of all the maps, but that detail is it just makes it that much cooler.
Yeah, I love it. I think one of the other ones I really enjoy is Sky Temple, like the water that goes around the outside, and like the people, and there's like fish and stuff swimming and people fishing, and it's like this huge river network.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so as far as if we want to look at like pre-ban, like you know, if we had to pick bans, do you think at this moment Zeratul gets through this draft?
I would say no. Yeah, I would if I was can't counterpick stupid, I would definitely ban Zeratul, especially since, you know, Volskaya Foundry is yet another objective team, all grouped up objective, you know, where everyone's together. They're all in a tight pocket where I think VP could really cause some problems.
But this is another good map for Alexstrasza. So we might get a double dose here.
All right. Odd Thought says it's a good time for a Weenus brand dad joke. Oof. I think I'm out of dad jokes right now. Do you have any dad jokes, B-Train?
Oh, I don't have any. I'm too young for dad jokes. The moment I start popping dad jokes is when I admit that I'm getting old.
Well, that's the sad thing, is because I am old and I still don't have the dad jokes. I need to.
Then you're young at heart, and it's perfect.
I guess so. All right, so I think we're just waiting on one person who went on a quick little potty break, and they should be back in a second. But in the meantime, have you heard my goat?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you heard my goat?
I have not, and I don't know if I want to.
All right, well, they're ready, but I'm gonna play you my goat anyways. Here it is.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. This is my goat. It's my screaming goat, and that's what it sounds like.
Honestly, you should always play that when there's like some crazy team fight combo that goes down.
You have to. And now I'm gonna give you a special privilege. This is something I don't do very often, but since we've been talking about goats, I want to show you my goat impression. You ready?
Oh man, I'm so ready.
Okay. So the thing is, I have to get sideways on the mic here. Okay. Here we go.
Oh my god.
So that's my goat impression. It's mostly visual. Like, you know, there's a little bit of audio to it. So I apologize to the teams if you're going to be watching this later that happened. But that is my goat impression. And I think we are ready to get into this next game.
I have the stream up right now. I'm waiting for it to come through.
You should wait. It'll be worth it. Forget the draft. Wait for that.
I'm gonna be occupied for the first half of this draft, everybody. Please don't ask my opinions. I have a video to watch.
All right, here we go. We will be getting it into game 2 after this.
What is that? Why? When on earth did you find out that was the way to do it?
You know, a lot of weird stuff has gone on in my life, and that's just something that I think should be shared. So,
honestly, if that doesn't have a GIF form yet, it has to. It has to. That is fantastic. I can honestly think of so many times in life where somebody sent me something annoying, whether it be at work or just a text from one of my buddies, and I wish I could send them that.
You're like, you're gonna send me this? All right, fine. I'll send you this.
Oh, that's so fantastic.
All right, yeah. Send all your complaints to @MoistWeenus on Twitter, and they will be followed through. There, you called it right away. There is that Zeratul respect ban. An ouch coming out from Ogle.
So, yeah, I expected that. Ogle did a fantastic job on Zeratul in our scrims. There was one other hero he plays that is a Zeratul-esque hero, in the fact that they just kind of change how you have to play. So we'll see if we get it. I think we will. I expect that we will see it. I mean, you spoke to him about it, and we're gonna see a Genji ban.
Interesting. All right, so what is can't Counterpick stupid? What are they trying to protect against the Genji?
So
Some
there's
mage heavy, perhaps?
or even like something like a Tracer. Maybe, you know, I know Genji and Tracer's always been kind of one of those skill matchups, and if maybe someone is a really good Genji player, maybe they have a Tracer strat and Genji's just a one wrench in the pot.
Could be. The old tried and true Johanna getting picked up off the bench. Time to play ball. First pick worthy for Ginormous Jaegers. Asmodan. Do you think Asmodan and Arthas, once again, Arthas playing in this matchup? What do you think about Asmodan? Is this nerf that he recently got in the last patch? Is he still overpowered, or has he been brought down to a more reasonable level?
I think he's at a more reasonable level, to where, like, now especially, Asmodans that can get stacked do really crazy damage. But it's the method for beating the Asmodan is, you know, it's different. You have to put pressure on him early game, and then you just have to get ahead. As Asmodan's one of those heroes that if he does get the lead and he's stacked, he's just going to run away with the game. So you have to play very, you know, kind of aggressively and keep the Asmodan on the back foot so he can't stack as hard, and at the end of the day he just can't control team fights. Okay,
so he's really a snowbally hero if you have the lead, and really just helps keep that lead going.
Absolutely.
Thrall and Li Ming picked up from Ginormous Jaegers. I really like Li Ming on this map just because if you lobbing orbs into the point to try to get some damage in, if you're controlling the point on point A, you can still hit the towers from the point. You can lob a lot of damage and get some siege damage in while also claiming the objective.
And Li Ming, another one of those heroes that kind of just takes the game into her own hands. Once you get Reset City, she can turn any losing team fight into a winning one. So we'll see how much that comes to play. But with two super beefy targets like Asmodan and Arthas, resets are going to be kind of hard to acquire.
Yeah, that's a good point. Blowing those guys up is not going to be easy. Thick Modan, sometimes he's slow, but he's got a big health pool. Another thick boy has entered the race. It's Diablo.
And Stukov is one kind of a beefy support, but yeah, you said it. Another thick boy. That's three basically tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 tanks and a serial killer with high fives. Watch out for his strong arm. It's Stukov's strong arm. Watch out. You don't want that bad. You don't want that bad touch from that fatty arm. Oh, we
get it.
Yep.
I got it. Yes, I was so ready for this. I was waiting for Ogle to make his pick, and we see it. We see the Medivh. I was waiting for this the entire time, but I didn't want to leak it. Medivh changes everything about how your game plays. It provides Johanna a unique element of engage that you normally wouldn't see. Johanna just randomly appearing in your backline from a portal is honestly terrifying because now she still has Iron Skin to get out. And there's the Tracer.
Well called once again. I like it. So here's a question though, with this portal, I mean, are you going to be, do you think that Ginormous Jaegers are going to be using this to engage? Are they going to be going through this portal and bringing everybody with them to face this huge stack of tanky bodies?
And that's where, once we saw the Diablo come out, and the Stukov, I didn't think we were going to get it anymore, because the best way to defeat Medivh, heroes like Junkrat, Malfurion, Stukov, heroes that control parts of the map, and if you can put a root on the portal, if you can silence it, it just, when you come through the portal now you can't do anything, and so it just completely wastes your aggressive engage, and now you have to use it as a means of escape. So with no real way to just detonate one of these super beefy heroes, their only real choice is to go for the Stukov or the Tracer, and without any real point-and-click CC until Blessed Shield comes online, which is still a skill shot, it's going to be hard to find the lockdown necessary.
Absolutely. Well, that'll be very interesting to see if they are able to get those squishier targets locked in or not. Here we go, though. This is going to be game number 2. Blue team. We have can't counter pick stupid. We have Selma playing the Tracer. We have Wit's End on the Stukov, Osprey on Diablo, Celadorn, Celadorn playing the Asmodan, and Valkymer playing the Arthas.
And on the right side, Odd Thought yet again picking up the sticks with Deckard. We have Nemesis on the Li Ming, Gambit on Thrall in that solo lane, Dark Knight yet again repping Orc Johanna, and Ogle the Great on the Guardian Medivh.
Oh my goodness. I want to see some portals. I can't wait. Portals now, right from the beginning. Let's see them. Gluttony picked up by Asmodan, looking to stack on those heroes. So it's a good day when a whole bunch of teammates stack up and let you throw orbs at them. Interesting use of the portal there to help increase their rotation. That was a fast rotation speed with those portals.
Exactly, and with their, I think kind of even in wave clear, but being able to use that portal, another map that this combo works really well on is Dragonshire. You take that mid fight, you focus on just clearing the wave, you don't really hit heroes, and then you portal immediately to bot lane, and you will forever have the wave clear advantage. As we are seeing level 4s come on, or not level 4, excuse me, the camps come on. I saw a talent get picked up a little late. And immediately at level 1, the best thing to do on Volskaya for anyone trying to learn how to play this map a little bit better is do what each of these teams are doing. Take these camps as soon as possible. That way, during the first control point phase, those camps come back up and each team will have access, if they've done their camp, to a second turret.
Why have just one turret when you can have two? I like it. That's a very interesting point, and something that I will be using to my advantage as well. That's one of the advantages of seducing an experienced and knowledgeable player like B-Train into casting with me. Is it's more like I can get him to teach me some tricks and tips, and he thinks that we're just doing a cast. It's perfect.
Oh man, anything, obviously, my door's always open to anyone looking for tips and tricks of the trade. I can tell you pretty much anything that I have that doesn't concern Yrel or Cassia, as those are the only two heroes I do not play.
Well, I think that leaves quite a few heroes open for schooling and open for class. So.
And Tracer goes into untouchable.
Ooh.
That is a bold strategy, Cotton.
We'll see how that works out for him. I guess, what is it? Li Ming and Deckard are going to be primary targets for this Tracer, I would think.
I would think so, but Tracer's main thing is you want to chew people down, and then you want to, go in and get the melee, and then get the pulse bomb. Pulse Bomb is a great sense of burst damage, but you know who has a shield that says protected above it?
That's the Medivh.
So...
Yep. And there it is, but Medivh is in trouble. There goes the Pulse Bomb, and oh, Medivh is just deleted.
Protected a little too early. Diablo doing a great job seeing that red highlight from Portal Mastery, showing the beginning of the placement but not finalizing, and then flipping him away from the location, forcing Medivh to drop the portal and then body block him until he's unable to get back into it. Phenomenal job. Like I said, controlling the space around portals is how you defeat a Medivh composition.
Well, it seems to be working, but this point is contested, and it will not be moving one way or the other until one of these teams gets pushed off of the point. Johanna is just letting her thick hang out on the point, getting clipped by Diablo, but being unstoppable, really not afraid. Doing a good job of not letting the objective reset in favor can't counterpick stupid can't counterpick stupid and counting up for them. Doing a little back and forth, making sure they stay on the point. This is quite the fight.
Yeah, just it's lengthy. You can see, Pulse Bomb barely missing. Is they're going to use the portal here to juggle their tap and come back out a little bit faster? Maybe. Doesn't look like it, actually. But we do see level 7s coming online. Bullet time for the Tracer, pretty much what I expected to see with that build. And Thrall goes into Frostwolf pack at 4, and just now completing Echo the Elements, looking to get a lot more poke in. Late game, Thrall is going to become a menace, but they just have to, I think they have to stay in it until they get Thrall a little bit higher, get him to that 10 and that 16 spike.
Absolutely. Being able to get that Frostwolf packs stacked, I think would be a huge advantage, but it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because I believe it resets if you miss, right?
It does.
Yeah, yeah. All right, looking for a re-engage here as Arthas is selected. Turrets are down for Can't Counterpick Stupid as they're at 99% and overtime. Arthas having to back up is probably going to go and tap, and it's Stukov who's now getting really low, trying to make it to the back end as Ogle the Great comes in and gets the kill through the portal. Dark Knight, though, getting very low, as well as Osprey, and it's going to be... It's a 3-kill to none. As it's a 4-kill. It's going to be Asmodan, Diablo, Arthas, and Stukov all eliminated by Ginormous Jaegers. Wow.
Yeah, so as far as stack watch goes, Ogle, when he first died to that Diablo about 2 or 3 minutes ago, was at 15 stacks on Master's Touch. And now, after that past minute and a half, is already back up to 26 stacks. Getting lots of value with the hitting heroes and lowering the cooldown, as Medivh now, after his rework, does very respectable damage, magic damage. And with so many thick boys on the side of CCS, able to get those hits in quite often and get those resets.
Absolutely. You get basically your mini mage. All right, so both teams are going to be fighting over this point again. It's going to be 99%, 99%. Winner of this fight will take all as Arthas retreats into the backline again. They're all looking to try to pick him off. This is not successful. Is getting harassed by Tracer. Is getting low. Will back off. Diablo securing the point, though. Keeping this overtime going. Thrall will tap and re-engage.
Tracer was doing work in the backline on Gambit. Already spent the Pulse Bomb. Working on another, as we are going to see the engage, another Decker Triangle comes out. Those have been pretty cash money this entire time. I thought doing a lot of work with those shapes. Gonna have about half the mana left. The silence is going to split him off as Soma gets super low in the backline. Valkymer does step up, is going to eat a fully min combo, no harm, no foul. Thrall on the backline getting flipped away from the portal. Control again from Osprey, not having any of it. His Nemesis trying to find a little bit of value at 80 health. Having to run away and beaten, bruised, and battered with the Kobe dunk, resetting the stacks of Ogle yet again. Asmo Donger as the first protector comes online with level 10s for Can't Counterpick Stupid.
Oh my goodness, that was I don't know if they knew they were there, but I think it was a lucky guess, and it definitely connected. And Medivh was flying through the air, but not in bird form that time. Here are the heroics that are picked up from Can't Counterpick Stupid as they continue to push top. We do have Syndragosa from Arthas, as well as Flailing Swipe from Stukov. There's that Lightning Breath and Pulse Rounds from Tracer, still holding on Asmodan.
I really like the Syndragosa pickup, actually. That was something I wanted to see from the Arthas. They're really chunky. I don't think they needed the survivability, especially against no real percent-based damage outside of the Thrall. So that looks to get a lot of value if they should choose to pair it with one of these protectors.
Tide of Sin eventually getting picked up. What do we have over for Ginormous Jaegers? What kind of heroics are we looking at over there?
Well, what I love to see from Medivh is Polybomb. Even back when he first came out and Leyline Seal was typically the go-to pick because people wanted the flashy boss steals, I was always a huge advocate of Polybomb, and that's going to do work on Tracer. If she comes in really deep looking to drop that Pulse Bomb off on somebody and get the parting gift. Actually, there is no parting gift this game, excuse me. But looking to get that bomb down, you can poly her on the way in, and you don't have to do a lot of damage to get that kill. So really looking to punish that Tracer. We do have Stay a While and Listen for Deckard, plus Shield on Johanna. Both pretty bog standard picks. We do have Sundering on Thrall, looking to get that big long-range stun, interrupt, good flank potential, and something that can reach the Stukov to get the stun out. And Wave of Force as well for a similar purpose.
Very good, very good. I like it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much value that we get from Stukov's silence. It was it had a lot of value in that first objective fight. The second objective will be top. Of course, the top fort and well have been removed from Ginormous Jaegers, so they won't really have anything to fall back on. support
Yeah,
camp
and
getting
Medivh
looked at
is
here.
Exactly, Medivh is eyeing the support camp, and watch out for the little red glow from the portal placement, as he could look to make an offensive portal for his team. It does look like they're gonna opt to just let this one go, with level 13 just around the corner, not willing to give in to the snowball. As Tracer, Soma still being ever annoying to Gambit, running around getting these autos, and as one of those melee assassins like Thrall, you know, say if he misses the wolf, Tracer is just such a feels bad man hero to have to go against. She just kites forever.
Gonna see a 3-man rotation down into the bottom lane. I think this is more than a wave player. This looks like it has some push potential. I'm not sure exactly why you'd pull more than, you know, 1 or 2 down there. Yeah, and they will try to get some siege damage going here.
And look to see a snap rotation, as Portal can make this much quicker than they are going to anticipate. You already see Arthas. Falcomer is warding that off as Thrall's going to get the Big Wolf onto Celadorn. Going to pop that Ancestral Wrath, looking to get a little bit of that percent damage out. Sunder going to be used. Going to separate Falcomer. They're forced to use the healing pack. And Stay While and Listen's going to come out. Cinder Ghost is going to turn around, put the big slows on. And now that Fort is shut down, as Osprey's going to go in and get a huge charge onto Decker Kane. But they're going to turn and reset the stacks of Medivh yet again with that Lightning Breath. His Decker hitting the 5-man route with that triangle, and at the end of the day, that's still a kill on Medivh. Polybomb wasn't used there either.
Interesting. They do lose 1 member, losing Medivh, Ginormous, Jaegers, but they could have lost a lot more. I think they got good retreat support from Odd Thought, dropping down those roots. Yeah. Who knows? Could have been a lot worse for Ginormous Jaegers. The next objective has been activated, and we just need someone to step on it, and it's going to be Arthas, who claims first blood on this objective. Boop.
And now looking at potential power spikes and synergies, Tracer taking Ricochet. I want to see Locked and Loaded, or the perfect reload, whatever the talent is, where you have to time your reloads and it makes it do more auto damage. With Ricochet, you can absolutely just farm pulse bombs, and she does outstanding damages. Right now, Ginormous Jaegers has a 5-man bottom, pushing this through, looking to maybe steal a turret, as Asmodan and Tracer, with the help of this camp and the catapult, are chewing through this keep wall, and only 2 members backing right now, so I think there's going to be a lot of maybe an ill-planned trade here. I don't think losing that outer layer of defense on your keep, especially when right now you could potentially lose this top protector as well, is worth.
Yeah, trying to get that camp, I don't think it's worth it. The turret, it's not going to have as much value as getting that damage in, so when that you do claim the protector, it can just kind of push through right onto keep, and that is what happens. The protector is picked up pretty easily, creating that buffer zone all the way at the keep wall.
Syndragosa's online.
And there it comes. Oh, wow. Beautiful padding there. This keep is dropping. It's just getting eliminated. It's like it's paper as this protector just eats through it. Ginormous Jaegers are hanging back a little bit.
And if you notice that Syndragosa actually also hit the mid keep, and maybe you watched Arthas before that fight, really like walked into an obscure corner and aimed that Syndragosa, also hitting the middle keep. I think their theory and thought process was, if we can get another kill here, we can just go ahead and drop 2 of these bad boys.
I did miss that. That's very interesting. So it looks like patience does pay off in setting up these plays. I actually didn't know the range was that far. If you can go from one keep all the way to the other. And now this protector is going to keep this party rolling, going bottom. Silence coming out, and Ginormous Jaegers are going to be trying to back out of here. Odd Thought, though, caught taking some damage, does get some shielding, and will retreat and be okay.
Osprey got hit by the Bless. The Stukov swipe wasn't at the same. He's going to get the flip onto the Johanna. But after that, ooh, Silma going in super deep on Nemesis, trying to get that pulse bomb damage. Doesn't have the recall, I think. Stood still there, not moving for a couple seconds, and I think maybe mashing that E button, and found out it wasn't there. That is a reset onto untouchable stacks and souls.
Going a little bit too deep there, getting counter engaged on, but you know, a little under a level lead for can't counterpick stupid. But right now there's going to be some camp cleanup. Going to get those items Team fights are always more fun when you have more things to drop on the ground. Support camp does go to Ginormous Jaegers. And possibly an engage here as the portal's used to execute as Lightning Breath comes out, but Diablo falls as well as Medivh. And the camp is stolen as this engage continues, retreating back to their keep. Oh, massive. It's just Deckard, Deckard and Li Ming just get exploded by the king of, what is it, the Demon of Sin?
The Lord of Sin.
Lord of Sin, yes. And it will be Johanna and Thrall who fall as well. That is a 5-man team wipe. Is this game over? Do they have enough time to end?
I 100% think they end the game here. You don't even need the Diablo at this point with Asmodee minions and stuff like that. The shielding is already down. They're going to have to make their move a little quickly. Only Medivh going to be alive for this. But Caledorn's Asmo, Donger getting immense value, portaling 4 people through, getting the Stukov silence while Diablo held his ground. The dunk just chunked, and the chunky monkey dunking all over as Can't Counterpick Stupid pulls out a really impressive win in game 2.
Oh my goodness. Wow, and there was no hesitation. Once they got that 5-man wipe, they scooted their boots all the way into the top lane. And you know, it's interesting, that play where Ginormous Jaegers were trying to take out that bottom fort, and instead Can't Counterpick Stupid decided that they were going to take out the front wall of the top keep. That's how they won. They went right back through there, through that entryway that they had created earlier, and it really made it, you know, really a path to victory.
And especially getting value from Syndragosa. Like, a lot of the times when you see that top protector picked up, so like importantly after the XP changes, you see it finish off the top fort if it's still there. You see it go finish off the middle fort, which is usually about halfway done, and then it rotates bottom and tries to get fountain value. But with Syndragosa online and the wall already down, they just took it top and destroyed the top keep, which is phenomenal. If you have to go to that third protector phase, if you have catapults pushing in the furthest lane away, you surely can't fight 5v5 for long, because you're going to have to send somebody back. And had that gone to the third protector point, we would have seen that, but they didn't even need that long.
Oh my goodness. That was a spicy match. And it looks like we're going to be going to game 3.
Everything I could have asked for. I'm super pumped.
Hey, I am also glad that we are going to game 3. So far, all of my live cast matches have gone to a game 3. I don't know if it's me confusing everybody. You know, no dominations here though, and that's what I like to see. I like when it's close. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to win. And usually, you know, if you have a 1-in-1 split, you know it's been close.
Exactly. And, you know, tip of the hat, the Medivh play was actually like pretty good. The communication was on point too. As you saw, there was zero hesitation when portals went down. People went through it, and that's what you have to have. You can't delay. If a portal goes down, you have to have that snap decision to go. And I think they got a little hyphy as they got the pick in the bot lane. Diablo Souls though means he comes back, so really only Tracer was off the battlefield, and they went for the huge momentum play into the camp, and it bit them hard.
Yeah, there's all kinds of throws, whether it's a team fight, whether it's a camp, whether it's a boss. If you get engaged in a team fight where you're going to be down for 40 seconds and your keep is vulnerable, you got to watch out. The game can change just like that. All right, so anything about the stats that you want to cover? I'm going to check in with our captains and see where we're going next.
I think specifically for me, we looked at the potential damage output or lack thereof for Ginormous Jaegers into this triple beef setup. And then the lack of real CC for Tracer. And I think that's exactly what I noticed is Asmodee did outstanding damage, was able to pretty much do his own thing, left alone quite untouched in team fights for the most part. And then Medivh dying 4 times, possibly just, you know, a little bit of misplacement or misclicking portals, and also just, you know, props to Osprey on the Diablo. Great job controlling the space around portals, which is the one thing that I pointed out in the loading screen that I wanted to see.
The Dunk Man himself at the top of the list. Got some Siege, top hero. Oh my goodness, he's got that XP. I don't know. I think he's still broken, and I love him.
It's always such a fun hero to cast because the dunks come in slow motion and they devastate.
I believe they used to be faster, didn't they? They slowed down the arc based on distance.
There was a talent that made it go faster.
Ah.
And you got it. It was like one of his first power spikes, because instead of dunks being these super dodgeable orbs of just, you know, whatever, then, you know, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm laning, I'm clearing, and oh my god, there's a dunk.
All right, messaging everybody on their team to try to get our next map. I drank too much water. I will be right back, and we'll be back in just a second. We'll be able to get into game 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are just getting our lobby set up for Game 3. Thank you for sticking with us as we go into match number 3. It's going to be exciting. This is going to be for all of the cookies. There's only going to be 3 games played, and there will be no less than 3 played.
If you're quoting Monty Python, or you're trying to, I love it. I'm 100% behind it. And earlier, touching back on your dad joke, you did have one, and it was magnificent. You were talking about the lasers from the Punisher, and you either are can or are cannot.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I hope someone clips it so that we have evidence. You've got dad jokes. Don't sell yourself short.
No, I
Weez.
do. I just haven't. Like I said, I'm rusty. I haven't been doing casting in a while. I used to have a whole slew of them, and they used to be pretty good. But
Just have a locked Word document on your computer somewhere. People always think it's some crazy like black book, and it's just dad jokes.
it is. It's just dad jokes. All right, let's look at the map. All right, we are going to be going to Tomb of the Spider Scream.
Home of the Weeb Weavers.
That is, yeah, the Weebly Weavers. Once again, this map was picked by Counterpick Stupid as Ginormous Jaegers decided that they wanted first hero pick in game 3. 1-1. All of the maps picked so far. Can't Counterpick Stupid. I think, you know, look at this. There's just so many just maps that are selected. I love it.
Yeah, and you know, if we're gonna look ahead at bans a little bit, I think that we'll see kind of the same thing. I don't think Zeratul makes it through here, but I don't think Azmodan gets through again either.
No, I would think not, especially on this map.
Where wave clear is the name of the game. When speaking of wave clear, Gul'dan has been banned both games from the Jaegers, so they really don't want to deal with somebody's Gul'dan.
And every time I say Jaeger, it's like, oh, my stomach is just a little like, oh man, remember doing all those shots of Jaeger?
That's terrible. That's why I can't
Yeah.
think about tequila anymore. We all know what happened. We've seen the gifs.
Yes, it has happened. All right. Looks like the teams are ready, so let's get into this match right after this. Here we go. Let's hear you do the Tomb of the Spider Queen voice.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like it. That's good.
That was like super late notice. I wasn't prepared.
I know. Illidan, take it easy.
Okay.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
Didn't see that one coming.
Well, I mean, that's basically a deconstructed sandwich is not prepared either. See, okay, we're getting some more dad jokes in here. I like it. They're slowly coming to me as well. All right.
All right, draft. No dad jokes. I'm done.
Stay a while.
Unubrak banned. He's gone. Jaegers don't want to deal with him. They don't like the Beetle. The Beetle doesn't like them. Zeratul also gone. CCS doesn't want to deal. And we see in draft they're saying Chen banned. Obviously, I feel kind of targeted here. Everybody knows my opinions on Chen, but I don't think we'll see him here.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably not. This is, you know, as you called, there is the ban on Zeratul. You know, this is not an experimental match. This is for game 3. This is for all the cookies. So you're gonna want to pull out your favorite heroes. What do you think is gonna be most impactful?
Yeah, and the name of the game here is Wave Clear. Gul'dan gone, which means less Wave Clear. But still on the table is Azmodan. And we saw him last game. Genji gone again. So pretty identical bans for the past 2 games.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
It has to be. Thorin P in the chat says it's the power of the goat roar. Thank you very much for the follow as well, Thorin P. Show me that Azmodan. You don't need all this clock time.
If they don't pick Azmodan here,
Oh. Who knows? Maybe they don't have an Azmodan player. There it is.
Well, Can't Counterpick Stupid has an Azmodan player, and this is the exact same first 3 picks as the last game. Also the exact same bans. So maybe the teams have agreed to just run it back. I'm not quite sure.
If you don't plan on picking it up and you know the other team does, you might want to just ban it. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let's see a Maiev watch.
Did your headset fall off, sir?
It did not, but I think my mic moved.
Oh, there we go. You're back with us.
I'm back, I'm loud, and no Maiev, but we did see Diablo possibly deny picked. We see Johanna Diablo set up on the side of Ginormous Jaegers, and so far it's not something new. They ran two really huge frontliners in the last game, or not the last game, excuse me, the first game, and then, you know, last game they had it run against them, and they also elected to pick up the Malthael. So last game we were concerned about percent damage to get through these beefy players or characters, but with Malthael here, that's not a worry anymore.
So do you think that might be some kind of deterrent from them picking up another tanky boy like, I don't know, like what's left? Muradin, Stitches.
Yeah, I look at those. I don't know what other wave clear I'd need out of a tank. Maybe a blaze deterrence.
Mal'Ganis is still on the table. Interesting.
Uther. Okay, so that tells me they're going for a blow up because Uther does great against blow up. He doesn't do well against Malthael, just like the constant damage. But say you're going for some like all in like curse bullet last rites combo, Uther can just be like boop, D shield, and you know, now that's negated.
Absolutely. Especially with Genji not even being on the table. Are we going to see Tracer again? There is Mal'Ganis and Stukov. All right. Stukov doing a swell job last game.
Yeah, the Stukov play was phenomenal. The silences were on point, got great value. And they did go into that double tank. The second Mal'Ganis Dark Conversion versus Last Rites. We'll see who comes out on top. As we're waiting for these last two picks, ideally one of which will be a support for Ginormous Jaegers, and those will be Hanzo and Tyrande. So getting a little bit of archery classes in as we have two bow-wielding heroes. And I look at this and I wonder, is Johanna your solo lane if you're the Jaegers?
I think you're gonna go with probably Malthael as a solo laner. Maybe I think it's gonna be Malthael versus Mal'Ganis, I guess. Or it could be Arthas. I don't know. Hard telling, not knowing. But I think if Stukov has trouble healing people, he is going to be at his wit's end. While we'll see Malthael tracing all over these tanky boys and running the gambit of damage.
And I think if we're really looking to see, Malthael's probably going to be one of the nemesises of these tank players with these last rites. Going to be a huge rival, as my dad jokes aren't quite as on par, but I did give them kind of an odd thought. I didn't put too much into it.
Well, they might have only a slimmer chance of winning, but, you know, they might have to osprey for deliverance.
We're stretching the bounds of what can be a joke and what cannot, but nonetheless, I love it. It's fantastic. But looking at these two drafts, who are you tipping your hat to for this Game 3 tiebreaker?
You know, for this game, I like Ginormous Jaegers. I think they're going to be able to finally do something about all these tanky boys that they had trouble with last game with that Malthael. What about you?
I'm actually sticking with the Jaegers as well. I think that the Maiev pick doesn't pack the oomph that I wanted it to, especially against a blind in Johanna. And, you know, ultimately they have a way to deal with these tanks now, so.
All right, well, here we go into game number 3. On the left side of the blue team, we have Can't Counterpick Stupid with Wit's End on the Stukov. Silma playing that Maiev. Caledorn playing the Asmodan. Osprey playing the Mal'Ganis. And did I miss anybody? Oh, yeah, and Velkmar playing the Arthas.
And for the red team, Ginormous Jaegers, we have Nemesis on Dibbles, Dark Knight on Johanna, Odd Thought ripping the Tyrande, Gambit on Malthael, looking to really shred these tanky boys, and Ogle on Hanzo.
Immediately, Mal'Ganis says he wants nothing to do with this. Is going to split into the bottom lane, and an unfavorable matchup, I would say, against Malthael. I believe Malthael wins that, right?
I believe so, 100%.
A lot of action, though, as tits for tats are exchanged in the middle as the rotation begins. The 4-1 split between the top and the middle lanes.
Yeah, Asmodaniel getting pretty stacked, already at 24 in less than a minute. Hanzo also electing to go into a stacking quest, as is Maev and Arthas. So we're seeing lots of quests, lots of stacking that's going to go on. Most importantly for me, I think, is that Stormbow build from Hanzo, looking to get in a little bit more spell damage and from a much safer distance.
Absolutely. You know, I didn't want to vote against the Asmodan just because this is his map, if any of them are, but we'll really see. And with that fast stack count, it could get pretty gnarly pretty quick.
I remember the old days of Taste for Blood Asmodan. You would go Johanna, Jaina, and Asmo, and you would spend the first 10 minutes of this game avoiding every fight as possible and just clearing lanes for those stacks. And, you know, nowadays a little bit easier to stack Asmodan, but as Valkmar is going to actually get flipped over by Nemesis, Nacho Libre, but without the Luchador skin, as Silma's going to blink in, the blind instantly negating the tether, which is one of the things I mentioned earlier, doing a good job addressing the Maev engagement, as Hanzo Ogle's running them down, doing good damage, and ultimately a positive trade in the favor, I feel, of the Jaegers.
Yeah, looking, we're about even as far as experience goes. A slight advantage to the Ginormous Jaegers, but Diablo's caught in a huge silence. Gets dunked on. Nemesis is 49 and does go down. First kill of the game being awarded to Counterpick Stupid.
Yeah, and as the person getting killed by the Asmodan auto attack, I look at my death recap and at the amount overkill, and I'm assuming that's probably in single digits. As we are going to see Silma jumping out, gonna miss the tether again, possibly blinded on Odd Thought. So Odd Thought on Toronto going to get out safely, as we see Malthael still in the 1v1 bottom, with Ogle rotating down on the Hanzo, looking to stack that Q up, and gets the one stack he probably needs for the range, and dips on out.
Yeah, it seemed like Gambit wanted to go in a little bit harder, and Ogle's already starting his rotation. But still, you know, as we expected, Malthael is really winning this lane pretty hard so far. Asmodan's decided to come down and take on over for Osprey, as Osprey goes back to base to heal up, get some mana, and try again.
Yeah, and as tanky as Asmodan is, and as Malthael does against single or high health pool targets, I think Asmodan will do decently in the lane until Osprey returns. Being able to just put that flaming doggy leash on Gambit, as he does now, hitting him with the laser leash, actually not trading out as well as I thought he would. And up in the top lane, we see Arthas body blocking and trying to get Silma out, getting the 3-man root, stacking up that level 1 as well with Frost Presence.
Yeah, absolutely. But you want to get Asmodan out of that bottom lane as soon as possible. He needs to be where the people are, see them slaying, hear them stacking, because he wants to get some more stacks. He's got 87 stacks of Annihilation already, and that continues to grow.
Stacking out of his mind. Absolute value, almost a quarter of the way done in only 4 minutes, aiming to be stacked by about the 16-minute mark, but we are still in the laning phase, as Valkmar's going to get flipped the opposite way. The Toronto stun not coming through, as Johanna and Diablo are two really chunky boys. Looking to get the body blocks on, as Maev is going to get the tether. The pull's not going to come through. We see the Frost Root going out, not quite going to get the stun there, as Asmodan is now sitting over 100 stacks, as both teams still continue this back and forth lane clear extravaganza.
All right, so it looks like we have turn-ins available for both teams now. Now the question is, how do you get to the turn-ins, and how do you keep your Turner's inners from getting interrupted so they can get those gems in the bank?
So we see the gem count pretty spread out across all the players, and I think one of the strategies that I usually saw is Maev is going to get the 3-man tether, going to burn the flip early before throwing out the shade, still escapes with her life, as we see Valkmar stepping up, getting the CC, as scatter arrows bouncing all around. But as I was mentioning, the gem counts are distributed across heroes, and typically, you know, my easiest strategy was to have one person amass the majority of your gems, like your tank or your front line, who can safely pick them up, and then your other 3 members can peel. But when you have to have 5 people make a team effort to turn in, as the blue team does get it, as Silma actually mistimes the auto attack, as Hanzo humps over the wall with that natural agility, and that was extremely close. Ogle getting out with about 60 HP.
That's about as close as you can get to dying and surviving. I thought Hanzo was done for, but the first turn in does get turned in by Counterpick Stupid, so they will start their push in the top lane, met by equal force from Ginormous Jaegers. Johanna walking it in.
Diablo barely misangling that flip there, as I thought does get hit by the root as, excuse me, Silma getting resets on resets on resets, looking like Li Ming out here. Just absolutely, you see the Elun's Wrath coming in with that level 7 picked up. You see the little stars falling, getting that extra damage, as she does have the level 1 quest, Bonds of Justice, 8 out of 10, almost done for that extra damage. That is something terrifying. If Arthas does land a root on 2 members, that is reset city for Silma. So we'll see if that gets a lot of value later in the game.
Interesting, very interesting. The synergy there with that stun, or that root rather. Plus, you also, well, anyways, I guess we'll wait and see. We'll see soon enough. Middle fort is down to about a quarter health, so we got some push. A little push in the top lane, not really very much in the bottom lane, but it is the first Web Weaver phase, and you can usually only get what you can get unless you can get some picks as well. More gems going in the bank though. For can't counterpick Stupid. They already have more in the bank than Ginormous Jaegers until now, with their turn in, and now their Web Weaver phase begins.
Level 10's online for both teams, as Maiev is going to get the tether. The Diablo charge going to come through, but able to blink out, completing Bonds of Justice.
Getting a little extra bonus help. We have the siege camp that's going to be pushing along in the bottom. Maybe that'll help. But Mal'Ganis says, oh no, he's coming back. He's coming back for more. And now the clearing begins for can't counter pick Stupid.
Looking at the ults for Ginormous Jaegers, we do have Dragon's Arrow, pretty typical. Shadow Stalk, looking to get that team-wide healing and the stealth. And we have Last Rites, APOC, and Bless Shield coming out. Pretty standard picks.
And here comes the engage now. We have Tide of Sin coming out for Azmodan, but here's the fight. And is Arthas going to be able to retreat? No, he's not retreating. He's moving forward. As we see, Warden's Cage is dropped. Diablo getting very low. APOC comes out. There goes the Dragon Arrow. And Diablo is running for his life. Nemesis is rooted, but somehow survives. Is keeping on the retreat, and is eventually picked off. Diablo goes down. Oh, so close as Silma does that flip and is able to avoid the fatal damage. Wit's End is in trouble though. Oh, very close. Almost getting a sniper shot from Ogle.
Yeah, and we saw during that huge fight top lane, Mal'Ganis continued to tip the toe into the pool that is the Malthael. And I am going to assume with all my might that Last Rites wins that. We saw Carrion Swarm go on CD, and it could have been mistimed, and Rites came through, probably did the damage, and Malthael does finish that. I don't know how many gems were lost, but Azmodan also completing that first 200 stacks. He's halfway stacked at 9.5 minutes.
And that's pretty early. If you get stacked at 200 by 10 minutes, you're doing pretty good. Already past that.
Carrion Swarm forced onto the bot lane. This Dragon Arrow is gonna whiff in a arrow at max potential there. Trading the arrow for Carrion Swarm, still pretty much even in the cooldowns there. Stukov actually going to get blessed in the mid lane with everybody rotating up. The Big Dunk's going to come out doing a lot of damage. Maev's going to turn, getting the tether onto Nemesis. They're going to pull back. Arthas coming through with Frost Presence completed. Is going to step up with that huge slowing AoEs. The Stylus is going to come out from the Stukov. APOC is going to stun that out. Last Rites hitting Ogmar on the Arthas, and he's falling, but Maiev is getting resets out of this world. Coming through, you see the Elun's Wrath coming through, doing so much damage, but ultimately with the Dunk and the Black Pool not online, we didn't see the burst blow up, as we do have the infamous double turn-in for Ginormous Jaegers.
Always the best time to turn in is when you've killed some of the enemy team. The respawn timers are short, so the members of Can't Counterpick Stupid will be back up and defending this, but we'll see if they get some value out of this. The top lane is pushed pretty far. I think Ginormous Jaegers are just looking to try to push some of these lanes, get a little bit more value out of these web weavers. The clearing will start by Can't Counterpick Stupid in the top lane, and they are going to be met here by Ginormous Jaegers. Dragon Arrow coming out as Diablo gets low on this engage. He is rooted and will fall. Hoping to get a little bit of support from this web weaver. It's not hitting anybody as orbs are launched by Azmodan, really chunking down the members of Ginormous Jaegers, but they are able to recover as Odd Thought starts healing everybody up. Pretty good defense.
Yeah, 5v4, they got a kill. And Diablo, I witnessed the unfortunate mistake that was the design of hitboxes. Went for the charge onto the Stukov, got bumped and body blocked. As Silma gonna use the D to dodge the stun from Tyrande. Dark Knight is gonna get counter engaged as Mal'Ganis is flanking up from the bottom. Gonna get the big stun and double sleep onto the backline. Is the huge Black Bulldog's gonna come through hitting Gambit and Dark Knight. The Shadow Stalk is gonna come out of the blind. It's gonna negate the tether from Silma, who's not able to pull anyone back. And sneaky breaky Diablo coming through stealth from Shadow Stalk. That's honestly something terrifying to think about. And Diablo's sitting on 54 souls now, trying to stack back up as no forts have fallen yet. Hanzo did complete his level 1, and we do have Asmo at 342 stacks. 3 minutes ago, he was at 200.
These prolonged team fights where, you know, you're getting lobs back and forth, they're really helping Azmodan. He loves those prolonged fights where he can stay in the back, his front line stays alive, and he can continue to stack, and he is doing so very well. I would say we're probably going to hit 400 before, I don't know, maybe 16 minutes, 15?
Yeah, and I expected the ramping up on the stacks because he did go the build that wants to have more heroes to hit. He does have a couple builds that are just better for stacking outside of team fights, but chose to go the one more centered around team fighting. And once the fights start happening a lot more, when teams get turn-ins and they're looking to force those, it's just increasing opportunities to stack. Sitting at 352, Pride could be a thing if this game hits 20.
Absolutely. The longer the game goes on, the more everyone wants to stick together as well, which means more group targets and more stacks for the Dan the Man. Turn-in is available right now for Counterpick Stupid as they're trying to engage on Malthael, who takes a little bit of a trip to the back line, cools off for a little bit. Mal'Ganis gets blown up confirmed with this Tyrande stun. And now it's going to be a chase. As Diablo, Invisible Diablo once again is coming in. He's looking for the engage here. Huge stun onto Arthas. And Diablo charged, but is not able to get the flip onto Arthas. That could have been real bad.
Yeah, we saw the expert timing out from Dark Knight on the Johanna, waiting for Mal'Ganis, who engaged into a Malthael at half HP, as in the bot lane, the virulent reaction coming through clutch, wits end ending Malthael. And that was, I'm so glad I got to believe that everybody else saw it. The virulent reaction has been such a playmaker for Stukov, and that's what kind of brought him into the meta and really blew him up. Is now we're going to get the tether from Soma. The big dog going to come through on the Dark Knight, doing absolute humongous amounts of damages with this Arthas and the laser, plus shield is going to be burned, and Fan of Knives with the Asmon and laser damage is going to finish it. Nemesis now stepping up, getting rooted by the Arthas, taking lots of damage, and this is not a stagger you want to continue. You need to concede this fort on the side of Ginormous Jaegers.
Web Weavers are almost down, and so they go, but you know, getting all of those kills, it's really taken a lot of the structures away from Ginormous Jaegers, and this mid fort's looking pretty tiny, pretty low health right now. We're gonna turn in what we have, as there's exactly 60 gems for Can't Counterpick Stupid. Owl does come in.
Calculate.
Yes, exactly. I'm so glad they made the change that everything lights up when you have enough, because I was doing math for half the game and feeding.
15 minutes and 21 seconds. Azmodan is fully stacked.
Asmo's stacked, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. Oh yeah, also picking up Total Annihilation to do even more damage to these tanks. Here comes the engage. It's Warden's Cage with APOC. Oh my goodness.
No.
And it's Velcomer's trying to escape. Arthas on the outside. It does manage to make it out for a while, but will get confirmed as Arthas drops. Now Ginormous Jaegers are going to fight this. They're going to chase this. Next goes down is Maev. Mal'Ganis is in trouble. Will be able to get out. Oh, is stunned, but... Oh, and is finished by the Hanzo. Ogle the Great gets that last snipe in there. And will get 3 kills. Web Weavers, though, are still pushing in the bottom and mid lanes.
That is entirely a level 16 talent value from Hanzo. Stormbow and Scatter Arrow Pierce hitting an additional enemy, meaning that when Tyrande tried to body block that Q from Ogle, that it still pierced and got that final kill. We saw in that fight, though, Arthas lived an inexplicably long time. Icebound Fortitude, the Ghoul Army, the heals coming out from Stukov, surviving Last Rites, surviving Stormbow, APOC, Bless Shield, and literally every button from the Jaegers. And you got to think at level 20, getting the AMS, at that point you can no longer Last Rites Arthas.
And speaking of AMS, you get the ASMR. That's a different cast altogether.
Oh my god, chicken ASMR. That's terrifying.
It's on my list. Who knows?
The red team, the Jaegers, nabbing another Web Weaver phase, looking to flip the script on this map, turning it from blue-ish to reddish.
Very close now. Ginormous Jaegers are getting just a hop, skip, and a jump away from 20. Once again, both teams are splitting up into different lanes, pushing and defending. I mean, it's not really a defense in the top lane. That's more of a push. I feel like that Web Weaver is getting attacked as the mid fort goes down of can't counterpick stupid.
Yeah, and a hop, skip, and a dunk away from level 20 is can't counterpick stupid. They do snag this top fort. They're all going to use their Bs to back. They pretty much concede the bottom fort here, looking to get the quick cleanup onto mid lane before going to defend bottom. And the one thing you have to be concerned about here is the rotation speed that is between the mid and the bot lane. If you, and you see it coming right now. You see this bush gank, looking to see if anybody tries to rotate on the unsafe side. As Dark Knight is going to come out, the Bless Shield is going to whiff, but Silma is in Africa, split all the way to the right side. As Osprey is going to come out with the sleep. Nobody chasing Silma, going to get him back in that vent. And nobody's going to hunt that down, as the bot lane Web Weavers are still alive, still pushing. Silma does make it back safe and sound, and that looks like it's going to be the end of this push. And level 20's not online yet, but looking at the Jaegers level 20s, we do have Final Curtain again. It's the second time I've seen that today, not going with No One Can Stop Death, as we have a boss play. So I can go through these quick. We do have play of the game, Hellgate, Indestructible, and the Ice Blade arrows from Tyrande getting that damage reduction, as Dark Knight is going to zone the members out. Asmo throwing a dunk, helping kill this boss. Arthas is going to have to pop Icebound Fortitude if he wants to make it in here. The boss is not falling. Osprey is going to get hit by the Last Rites, not able to survive. AMS actually was used. Mal'Ganis does fall. Malthael is traded on the other side. We do have the Warden's Cage coming down. Lots of resets coming out as Valkyrie is going to get flipped onto the APOC with the Hellgate. Stukov going to pop the big swipe to get away. The boss health is reset. They trade 1-for-1. Bless Shield is online again. Asmodan stepping up pretty far. Gonna take some damage from that Hanzo. The root turning around. Dark Knight coming in with a big damn Wit's End. Actually getting deleted. Tyrande damage coming through, getting mega value as Diablo charges Keladorn against the fort. Taking these shots is gonna slow Johanna down. The Indestructible is probably gonna get procced if it wasn't procced in that fight. There it is. That's a 5.5 to 6,000 point shield as Tyrande hitting stun after stun after stun. At 17 stacks is the dog, putting Dark Knight down to 100 HP. And now they've successfully thwarted this boss call, but Stukov is still down for another 40 seconds.
Sold to the man with the golden lips. That was amazing. Oh my god, those calls. So great. Whew,
I appreciate it.
You must be smoking. Whew, I can feel the heat from here. Oh, beautiful,
I've gone
beautiful,
through 3
beautiful.
bottles of water.
Oh my goodness, you're keeping Aquafina employed. All of those employees, thank you. As do I. That was fantastic. They don't call him the rap god for nothing. Well done. All right.
Now,
So
with that bottom camp picked up, we could see some more boss aggression as, yeah, now that bot camp was taken and Stukov is just now respawning, they are making another play for this boss, and every ultimate is back online.
deja vu, I must say. This time they are not going to be having the boss beating on them while they're trying to engage, which is always a dangerous maneuver. That's a 6v5 you don't want to be on the wrong side of.
And this time there are Giants pushing in the bottom lane against them. Asmodonger is going to get flipped by the Diablo. Shadowsong is going to come out. The Dragons are going to come into play of the game as Asmodan getting deleted by the APOC from Diablo. The Stukov Silence is going to come and hit too as Mal'Ganis is sleeping everybody. Diablo is going to fall. That is going to be Souls. He will be back alive in 2 seconds, but meanwhile the fight rages on. Valkymer is going to have the armor, not going to be able to get killed by the last rights as it comes to Gambit falling super low as the carry swarm is going to get Omega value without indestructible online. Johanna does fall. This is a 4v2 while Diablo is on his way back. The Frost presence from Valkymer is going to root to Rhonda as she passes away in the slow, cold temperament of death that the Lich King brings. And now, without a turn-in, but with a 4-0-2 advantage, they could look to make a boss play of their own as Diablo, the wave clear savant, is dealing with 2 Giants and 2 catapults in the bot lane, asking Ogle for help.
Absolutely. This is a 3-for-1 kill scenario for Counterpick Stupid. They're going to grab this boss easy peasy. There's no way that they're going to be challenged by Ginormous Jaegers. The question is, how far will this boss push? Their turn-in is available for the Ginormous Jaegers, so I guess they're not looking to turn in at this point with all the lanes pushed on their side. Taking a lot of damage though. Osprey's got to be careful. 450 health there. Don't want to get killed by the boss.
We look like we have a DC. Yeah, it looks like Wit's End did just drop. So we do have a pause. We'll see if we can get that ironed out here as the boss was just taken. And a 23-minute boss is nothing to tip your nose at. That thing's gonna chunk as they probably lose this keep here, I would assume.
Yeah, I would say that's probably, on the better side of the options right now for Ginormous Jaegers is just losing a keep. If they keep things tight, they keep the defense strong, and they don't lose anybody, it should be held just at that. Maybe they could even get some counter kills. That might be the best case scenario. But if they start dropping, so is the core. So gotta be careful there. While we're waiting, I'm gonna play something weird. I'm just gonna play.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this. You won't be able to see it, but sorry, but here it is.
By the way, if you're holding on for a Frozen reference, just let it go. Oh no, what have I done?
Today, I'm Uther the Painbringer.
Blondes may have more fun, but redheads are more fun.
100% pure bull, baby.
Not enough hatred. Just kidding. I hate you a bunch right now.
It looks like Wit's End is back.
All right, let's see if both teams are ready. And if so, we will resume this game. Oh. 1 sec, and then ready. That was a quick second. Now we just need confirmation from Ginormous Jaegers. Okay. And then I'm going to go 7, and then we go.
So yeah, now that we have this boss push going, they do have 5 members coming. Asmodonger is here. This boss does have a very chunky hit point pool. Hanzo's gonna burn through it pretty decently. Taranda's looking to reduce some damage. The Asmod and Dunks are gonna chunk everybody on the gate. That's even without Blackpool. As Valkyrie gonna get flipped over the gate by the Diablo, and instantly we're gonna see the Blast Shield come out and the anti-healing from the, oh my sweet lord, the anti-healing from the Gambit's, Malthael, excuse me, doing so much work to not allow Arctis to get any kind of value off, and I don't think that AMS was up, because if so, he would have used it there. That stun chain was impeccable, and Arctis just gets deleted. Last rights garnering another stack, and just like that, it looks like they might even save the... No, it is going to go down the
Oh!
boss, crushing hopes and dreams. I thought that keep stood a chance.
Oh my goodness, so close. If Dark Knight had just stayed behind and hit it with a couple more autos, I think that keep might have been able to have been saved. But it would have been so low that it probably would have been picked off. A huge stun onto the Asmodan as Diablo grabs him, flips him, and stuns him into the wall as Asmodan is picked off and deleted as APOC comes out. Oh, huge sleep there.
Now with the XP changes, we're going to see kind of the issue is with 2 members down, there's not going to be a huge event as Stukov getting caught out in the bush by the random Condemn, and that could seal this game should they be able to get the lane pressure they need. Tharanda is finishing her quest, and that is an unfortunate, untimely death, as now they are without their healer for 20 seconds longer than they are without Asmodan, and they do have a turn-in.
It's not going to be quite enough. They still need 5 more, so it looks like Ginormous Jaegers are going to keep pushing in the bottom lane while they can. I think they want to keep of their own. But, you know, I don't know. It's going to be a 3v3, though, because Diablo has split off, I believe, to turn in as well. He has 18. That will do it. Looks like we're not going to get a fight here. No. But we are going to get a turn in. Top lane, not a whole lot of push. It's being cleared by Hanzo. But down here in the bottom lane, this fight is going to happen.
Play of the game!
Oh, there. And now Hanzo rejoins his companions, and they're pushing as 5 in the bottom lane. And now they're rotating.
And with a single Q, Asmodan clearing an entire minion wave.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Tide of Sin, just stack up as many minions as they want, they're all about to disappear. Oh! I'm just curious what his hero damage. 100k hero damage so far on Asmodan, 217k siege damage.
Based on the amount of clear they have, as Arthas is going to get flipped, and Valkmar going to get hit by the Diablo, and then we see Icebound 42 coming out of the negative heal from the Malthael. Mal'Ganis doing a good job to start the CC chain in the back. Mayeb going to get the pull. Valkmar is about half HP, and Carrion Swarm has already been forced out from Osprey. Hitting those sleeper bats. They currently have all 3 of their keeps left. They did lose an entire wall, 2 entire walls, and it looks like they're going to be able to successfully defend the third as Witz is going. Oh, that charge from Nemesis was so close to being able to secure that kill.
Ooh, getting very, very low. I thought has to back off there as Dark Knight is taking a lot of damage as well as Diablo. A good disengage there from Stukov. Oh my goodness, this globe's just doing so much damage. So if I was Ginormous Jaegers, I would be a little bit disappointed there, getting a turn in, getting 3 kills, maybe it was just 2 kills, but not getting a keep.
Yep, I think you know, a 25 minute probably at that rate turn in would have done more, but you know, current meta with the XP changes and the way the map works is they had the map pushed against them. So if they wanted to get value, they would have had to have taken that bruiser camp and push with it. They could have probably gotten the mid keep, but it would have allowed all 5 members to respawn and then contest, you know, or even deny the turn-in. So at the end of the day, you know, they got the turn-in in, they have no gems for a turn-in now. They can play kind of carefree without the weight on their shoulders of, you know, losing that turn-in, and, you know, now they could still lose the game. But, you know, if you can play more free without that weight on your back, everybody can, you'd be amazed at what they can do.
Absolutely. One weight I always feel is when I'm holding a bunch of gems, and I always feel like they're burning a hole in my pocket. I need to dump them. Uh-oh. Here we go. It's a little bit split on the side of can't counterpick stupid, but they can't counterpick stupid, but they do back off. Osprey holding 31 gems, and they do have enough to turn in. They just need to find the place to do it, and they probably want to clean these lanes a little bit to give them a little bit more of a favorable outcome.
Of course, and one of the things you have to look at now is they do have a turn-in. Johanna warding that bush. You're going to see the triple blind and the flare. Condemn coming out. Mayeb, excuse me, going to blink away immediately. As lots of pressure from Catapults is in the top lane, and I want them to send no one other than Hanzo. Hanzo's a global hero now, and even if the arrow doesn't hit, he can still travel anywhere on the map. As you see Hanzo going back right now to clear those 2 or 3 catapults, excuse me. And with him back, the members of CCS could look to engage, which with a global against them might not be the best, but Dark Knight is going to get harassed in this vent. as the posturing never ends. Dunk's coming through, play of the game, arrow coming through, gonna whiff completely, not gonna get the stun, but Mal'Ganis is gonna get charged, flipped, and pulled. Negative healing gonna come out, and the APOC is gonna stall him from being able to use that Dart carry and Swarm. Asmodee getting free, absolute chunk damage. Dunk's in the back line. Nemesis getting a little bit of health back, because Johanna's super deep. She should have the indestructible proc online. Final Kurt coming out from the, from Malthael, looking to get a lot of damage on those tanks. We do have a 4v5, but look at the health bars. The health bars for the remaining members of CCS are practically full as Nemesis. Oh my lord, playing with fire, and by fire I mean Dunks. Keladorn doing work out here with 128,000 hero damage. Wow, Asmodee doing damage, and they're able to still posture here. Diablo had to back. They still recovered the gems that they lost. Johanna stepping forward. Malthael's here with half HP as Volkmar stepping up. The stun does come through, and the Hunter's Mark is used. This is now a 4v4 with Diablo still on his way.
Oh my goodness. You know, I would have thought that maybe Can't Counterpick Stupid would have maybe engaged with so many members of Ginormous Jaegers low. But at this point, a full team wipe at almost 30 minutes, you know, I think that's going to be game. So I think they want to just keep milking their top lane pressure, play a little bit more conservative, and really just play the long game and string out Ginormous Jaegers into multiple lanes and choose a fight on their own terms.
NA Arrow coming through again, trying to maybe get a little bit of damage out in a stall while they were finishing that camp for CCS. The turn-in comes through. Top lane should get cleared before it arrives. Mid lane is pushed very far up. Bot lane likely gets cleared for the most part. So mid lane, I look at this keep and I think there's no way in heck you can save it, but with an Asmodee stacked with Pride this late in the game, I think anything is possible now.
Absolutely. Those orbs is coming in, taking out big chunks of the Web Weavers, but the Web Weavers are going to continue to push this, and it does hit Mal'Ganis and Stukov with a spooky laser beam. Arthur's trying to push back the members of Ginormous Jaegers, but the keep is getting low. Out comes the Warden's Cage. There comes a huge APOC, stunning several members of Can't Counterpick Stupid, and Nemesis is getting low. Diablo is going to back up, but they are very low. Both teams are at this point, and Osprey, oh, it's very low. Malthael goes down as well as Mal'Ganis, and the chase continues as Wit's End drops as well, and this middle keep is going to be taken at least. There's still a little bit left as the bottom keep goes down on that Web Weaver, and I think we're going to have a chase here to see if they can bring this core down.
Malthael got so much value out of Soul Siphon, but Volkmar steps up, getting the root onto the Tron. The Dunk's going to come through. It's not going to be enough as the core is falling rapidly. These catapults doing work, and it's going to be at 20% as they're still trying to stall it, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend it as they are trying to get damage onto the Tron and the Hanzo. Everybody focusing the heroes instead of hitting the core. We see both the tanks hitting as Hanzo's chasing Volkmar, and the core hits 0 as the clock also strikes 0 on the comeback hopes of Can't Counterpick Stupid.
Oh my goodness. Comeback is real. What a game. Oh my goodness. Look at these numbers. Whew. All right, let's give that last point over to the Ginormous Jaegers. They have done it. They pulled it off. Even, you know, despite Asmodee. With all of these crazy numbers. Oh my goodness. Although, I mean, like you're saying about the clearing capacity and ability of Hanzo, and also being able to have that global, look how much siege damage he has. I mean, this is a 32-minute game, sure, but 375k? That's insane.
Yeah, the Hanzo wave clear was absolutely insane, getting so much value off that exploding arrow at 4 and the piercing arrow at 7. I mean, you know, we talked about the Dunks just deleting Web Weavers, but Hanzo was practically doing the same thing. It's just not as noticeable because the ability isn't as flashy as the Dunk. But yeah, tremendous wave clear. And no deaths for Ogle on the Hanzo.
Oh my goodness. Go away, chat. No one wants to see you. Oh well, I've messed up. Yeah, so... Wow, this has been a great set. I really enjoyed it. I believe we can get Ogle the Great in here for an interview if you have a couple questions for him. What do you think?
Oh, I think that would be phenomenal. I need to talk about his Medivh game.
All right, let's do it to it. let's go hop into a lobby, shall we?
I am right behind you.
Hello, hello, and congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Wow, that was quite a set of matches. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you guys stoked right now?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. That last fight, yeah, I think that several of us lost several fingers, biting our knuckles.
Right.
So.
Yes, they will not grow back. I'm not sure exactly what they've told you, but be careful of that. I know, right?
Oops.
But what were you guys feeling after going into the start of that game 3?
We kind of just sat back and we're like, we butchered the game 2 draft, and we just need to sit back and make sure that we think our draft out all the way. And I think we kind of nailed that. And then going into it, we're just like, we got to keep calling targets like we did in game 1, and this is the first game of the series.
Absolutely. So I have one quick question before we travel back in time and talk about some of these earlier games. Game 3, giving up that Asmodan. Were you just not scared?
So it came down to it. We were more scared of the Gul'dan than we were of the Asmodan. We did some scouting and we saw that their tank player was slightly limited, so we banned out his Anubarak and took his Johanna. And it was either take the Johanna to continue limiting him on his tanks, or take the Asmodan. And Asmodan's had a few nerfs recently. I mean, he's not bad anymore. He's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. He's good, but we felt like as long as we had something that we could get on him in a fight, and he can't just do it all fight long, that we'd be fine.
Absolutely. And I don't know if we introduced you, Ogle the Great, captain of Ginormous Jaegers, I believe. Although not the captain. You don't do the banning, is that right?
I did.
Or you do the banning. That's right.
It's weird because in Team League sometimes one of the other players sometimes in Mars higher than mine, so sometimes I don't do the banning in Team League.
Gotcha. You kind of have to they're your proxy. You're
so,
ban this.
Sometimes we forget who's actually banning and misbans.
Gotcha. Absolutely. B-Train, do you have some questions for this fine gentleman?
I mean, I have a couple. Just I want to talk about the Medivh game. Obviously,
I don't want to talk about it.
As someone else who plays Medivh, I understand the frustration of losing stacks. And you lost yours a couple times that game, and I looked at the draft. They had super heavy hit point heroes. You still elected to go with the Medivh, a huge confidence from your team, obviously. But once you saw the Arthas Diablo, were you thinking maybe Medivh's not the pick?
Yeah, we were talking about it in draft, and I think Dark Knight was saying to go Tychus there. And looking back on it, that's what we should have done, definitely. I'm not as comfortable on Tychus as I'm on the Medivh. It's more of a comfort pick. And in hindsight, yeah, the Medivh was bad there. I think we kind of limited ourselves. We didn't really give ourselves an actual game plan with the Medivh. It just kind of double mage with a thrall, so almost triple mage, going into pretty heavy frontline large sustain, and we were just kind of I don't know that we can win any fights now.
Yep, exactly. And yeah, and that's one of the main things I've noticed about Medivh comps is you struggle to deal with consistent outputs of damage or about these burst windows, and that 3 tank setup really gave you guys a hard time.
Yeah, I think that if we played him more in the bruiser role, and then taken a mouth ale in the off lane, that would have worked better. And that's kind of what we transitioned to in for the third game, because we knew that they'd want to go the double tank again, and we wanted to deny the Diablo, but didn't want to have to use a ban on it.
Absolutely, yeah. You guys adapted drafts really well, and even the second game not kind of going as planned. When the third game came out, you guys adjusted, and you guys seem to hate Gul'dan, so I don't expect I ever get to play him against you guys.
Well,
should we play again?
He's one of those heroes with game-changing ultimate, which is, and you have in our division. I've noticed that there's a lot of teams that have one player that is a lot higher MMR than the rest of the players. So you get them on a hero like that that can, carry as much as you can carry in a team game, in a team fight. And we just didn't want to offer that to them.
Of course, yeah, totally understand.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So also, you guys wanted to ban Alterac Pass, right? That was going to be the map that you wanted to ban at the beginning. Is that right?
Yeah.
But it was banned for you by Can't Counterpick Stupid, and so you went to Sky Temple and banned that map. Is that also, are those two maps something that you just don't like to play on, or?
Well, now that Braxis isn't in the pool, I think that there's not any map that we don't like to play on, but those would be, I think, our weaker maps. Like, we played together more on the other maps, just in scrims and stuff, so we're more comfortable on the rest of the maps. We know, they've also been in the Hero League and Team League pools for a lot longer, so we've all had a lot more games on them. So we just kind of know the rotations and then the camp spawns and stuff like that better.
So what you're telling me is Braxis used to be the most hated map for you, and now you've moved on.
Mm-hmm. We've moved on. We don't know how we threw a very large party when we found out that wasn't in the map pool.
Excellent.
I actually loved Braxis. Braxis
me
was
too.
one of my favorite maps.
Me too, but it's because I love Gul'dan, and I love Phoenix, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take Planet Cracker to use on burning down some of these Zerg. That seems like me. That's much better than me just missing my laser completely and hitting nothing. There's so many more targets to make it look like I did it on purpose. It's perfect.
I like it.
All right, so can you tell us just a little bit? I don't know if I mean, I'm sure this happens all the time, but what is it like not picking any of the maps in a set of matches?
I mean, it's interesting. Both of the maps that we didn't really want were gone, so it was we weren't scared of them bringing out anything. We didn't feel like they had any maps that they just really knew what they were doing. Evenville Sky, we won that first fight there on the objective, and we made several of the fights that we won. And we definitely could have taken that map off, and we lost that in draft, and I think we still played that map just fine. I don't think that I don't know, I don't feel like there's any maps unless you're just really comfortable on a map that it's worth taking over first pick at this point with the map, with the current map pool.
Absolutely.
And I mean, part of that goes into the whole scouting we did on the players and their hero pools, and we decided that basically what we wanted to deny them, and by doing that we kind of needed first pick in order to also pick the Johanna, which is also one of Dark Knight's more comfortable tanks.
Makes sense.
As well as deny it from who plays the tank? Kaldorn, I guess.
Yeah, and we were wondering, we're like, all right, they're gonna definitely grab Asmodan as their first hero pick because we're on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Do you have players who play Asmodan?
Yeah, I play Asmodan. We talked about it, and we just decided that if we did take the Asmodan, we just had thrown away the Anubrak ban because then they would get their tank, and we were trying to choke him on his tanks. So basically, we were throwing away a ban by taking him at that point. And
but
I don't know. Out. We felt like it worked well in the first game when we limited him on his tanks.
Absolutely. Okay.
So we just went back to that.
Do you have any more questions, B-Train?
No, I think I got all my questions out. I think I'm good.
All right, I have one more question for you, Ogle, and it's, what are the 5 ingredients?
The 5 ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
5 ingredients are wave clear, communication, targeting, and feeding. Is that 5?
It's either 4 or 5. I lost track, but that sounds pretty good.
Okay, and the other one is always take Medivh.
Ah, yes, there we go. Excellent.
The one game you lost.
I'm gonna have nightmares about that. I'm gonna have to watch that replay several times, and
You're
yeah,
not gonna want to.
I'm not gonna want to, but I really need to, and I really need to fix that problem there that was happening. And like when I was standing in that bush down on the, I think it was after we lost the first objective in the Asmodean globes me. I was just like face palm, you know. I'm like, okay, I'm backing into the bush.
Yep, I face palmed for you.
It was pretty sad.
Because that was your second one, and I was just complimenting on how stacked you got over that fight. I was like, dang, he's already back up to 26. And then I saw the orb, and I was like, oh no. And I looked to see if you were going into bird form, and you were backing, and I was just like, oh, this is a tilter.
Yeah.
Same question to you, B-Train. What are the 5 ingredients?
The 5 ingredients? Sugar, spice, everything nice, and 2 picks of Gul'dan because it's unbeatable.
I'll give you a hint. Everybody's looking at what they are right now. It's tequila, contrail, lime juice, ice, kosher salt. Maybe you'll watch it later in the VOD, but...
Unfortunately, that picture was taken after only 1 ingredient, but I had 13 of them, so 13 shots of Jose really does a number to you.
Absolutely, and then you lose track and have to start all over again. Okay, one last thing, Ogle, and then I swear we'll let you go. I want to hear your best Sally Whitemane laugh. I'm going to play it right now. No one will be able to hear it except for me in the audience, so I'm going to play that right now. All right, let's hear your impression. Go.
Wow. Yep, that's it right there.
All right, very good. B-Train, you want in on this?
I don't even know what her laugh sounds like. I don't play that hero.
That's what I'm like. Hey, played her once.
Is it like a witch laugh?
Okay, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to time up with the sound at the same time.
All right. Okay, first of all, you're gonna have to make sure you do this off stream because I'm pretty sure that's not okay.
No, probably not. But it's one of the sound files. I mean, you should just listen. Anyways, all right, we will really let you go, Ogle. Do you have any shout-outs before you leave us?
Yeah. Thanks for casting. Shout out to my team. Shout out to my feet for always supporting me. My arms for always being by my side, and my fingers and toes that I can always count on.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you very much, sir, and congratulations once again.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
All right, and B-Train, thank you so much for coming out and joining me on this cast. I really enjoyed it. Your expertise in this game and in casting is to be admired, and I really appreciate it. It's way more fun when you can cast with somebody else, especially if they do all the heavy lifting, so I can just kind of hang back and play with my goats and my chickens. So,
yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to come out and co-cast. You know, I've heard a lot about you. I've seen a lot of your casts. I've watched a lot. I think you've gotten a couple of my games. So it's always really nice to be on the other side of things. The production value is great. The gifts are on point. The dad jokes are fantastic. I wouldn't say that I did the heavy lifting, as we pretty much evenly distributed the load. You kept me laughing the entire time, so I couldn't focus. And it was phenomenal, and I absolutely would love to do it again.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. People can find you on Twitter at btrain704 and on Twitch, twitch.tv/btrain704. Is that correct, or did I just send some poor soul a whole bunch of traffic?
That's absolutely correct. That is every social media I have. Even on Instagram, if you're one of those people, I got mine up. I try to keep it up to date. But yeah, those are all correct.
Very good. And where can people find you on Tinder?
Well, Kodiak, Alaska, unfortunately, and that's an expensive plane ticket.
Very good. Very good. You can find me on Twitter at MoistWeenus or twitch.tv/MoistWeenus. I just want to thank, I got to thank all these people that I've been ignoring for so long, and it's not fair, and I apologize. I am very bad at multitasking. Everybody who's in chat, thank you so much. Odd Thought, JC Robinson 85, Slexia, thank you so much for joining us in chat and also for the subscribe. John Knight, OG Tunnel Snake, Grievance, Thorian P, The Avocado, thank you for the 4 bits. Oh my goodness. Did I say Grievance already? Maxazillion, I think that's about it. And then just going back through a couple things here. Oh my god, this is such a long cast. This is pretty good. B-Train, thank you for the subscribe and for the follow. And thank you for the host, Odd Thought. Thank you again for the sub, Dyslexia, Thorian P for the follow, and Avocado for those 4 bits again. Thank you so much. I've had a stellar time, and I can't wait to do it again. I think that's going to do it for us. So we will see you next time at the bottom of a bottle of tequila.
Hopefully not.
All right, have a good night.